Hi. So, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, we're a little bit behind, just 5 minutes, but I don't think we've ever been on time. It's just one of those afternoons. So, it's raining here in Cheshire. I'd just like to welcome all our guests this afternoon. So, we've got lots going on. It's all fun. It's Fun Friday. Simon, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to Cheshire.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about who you are. Not that I don't already know.
No. Blimey, that's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? A musician, ex-singer, did a bit of acting, and yeah, record producer and songwriter, and music executive.
And great. Wow. We're going to come back to you in a minute and welcome you. You're surrounded by 4 lovely girls.
I can see.
How exciting. And over to Julie. Tell us who you are, Julie.
I am a dancer. I run the Street Dance Academy in Cheshire. And yeah, choreographer, dancer.
You've got some celebrities in your dancing academy as well, haven't you? Which we'll hear about in a minute. Jamie, over to you. Just tell us who you are.
Oh, hi guys. My name's Jamie. I'm a mental health counsellor, and that's it. I've been just coming in for these fantastic, optimistic opportunities every Friday, and I'm glad to be back again. So thank you.
And lovely Emma.
Hi everybody, as you know, I'm Emma. I work with Sally at Akeso, and yeah, she's probably sick of seeing my face by now, but
never. Okay, so before we get going then, I've just got to share this with you. Simon, really, I didn't know which one to wear this afternoon.
How very dare you?
That or this one. Ta-da!
The internet's breaking up. I don't know.
Don't you dare go off. Don't you dare. So just a little bit about how Simon and I met first was just by our lovely friend Bob, who is a philanthropist and a great Evertonian. And in business, I've done some work with him in terms of, ice breaking and being around some of their clients when they've been socialising at events. Simon and I met at an Everton match, and it ended up being a very late night and a very early morning, and I remember staggering back to Lime Street Station when it was daylight. I can't even remember what match it was. We've been up in the Little Croc or something pub in Liverpool. I don't remember the pub. Anyway,
every time I go to Liverpool, it's always a blur.
Yeah,
it's always a blur.
Yeah, so and then we sort of became friends, and we've sort of communicated over the years, and I've been very beautifully invited to your recording studio, which was just, I am so starstruck, it's untrue.
Yeah.
And we met the lovely late Howard, didn't we? Which,
yes.
So we've shared some lifetimes together, and we've also dined together.
We did, at Marcus Waring's place.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I know it was, which was lovely. So it's just nice to do everything that is celebrating, really. And our talk today and this week has all been about celebration. And basically, it's just been such an awful time recently for lots and lots of people that we just thought we would knock it on its head and turn it round for even half an hour on a fun Friday afternoon. So, Simon, before we got you on today, we've been chatting about our favourite artists who you've been around. And I do know, Emma, I don't know if you can see who we've got on the call this afternoon watching, but we've got an avid Peter Andre fan.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she's not showing at the moment, but she needs to...
she'll be on.
To pop up.
Oh,
she'll be on.
I'll post you the link, because we obviously did the TV show together when we made the record, and he's just a lovely guy. It was an absolute pleasure working with him. We were in Los Angeles for a month, and we became like brothers over 6 months. He was just such a lovely guy. He really is the real deal.
Obviously, in our industry, we have to operate a confidentiality system all the time, but we are hoping for a little bit of an insight onto like what aftershave he wears or something like that.
He's got his own brand. He's got his own brand of everything,
Has he?
Yeah. He's got his own coffee stores, and I know obviously they're in lockdown now. But no, he's just just a top guy, really. Not one of the nicest guys you could work with, and actually a really good vocalist. He's actually underrated.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. I mean, we have to listen to our lovely Michaela that comes in to spend some time with us quite regularly, and you know, she's an absolute fan of his, isn't she? And you know, we get her when she goes to see him, and oh, has he got something? Has he got something? A picture.
Oh, Peter Andre sells a wall. There you go. There's the Andre.
Oh.
This was against all odds, because when I signed him, everyone said you won't have a hit record, because you know it'd been a long time, Mysterious Girl, and that was a big kick up the backside to the industry. So it went silver. So I was really quite pleased for Peter actually on that one, and yeah, an achievement.
Can I ask a question for my lovely sister Shelley, who is not too well at the moment, and we came to see Kool and the Gang in Birmingham. Tell us a little bit about. You've had a great relationship with them and still do, don't you? So tell us a little bit about what you've done with them.
Oh wow! I mean, last year they did an event called Chain of Hope, a charity event for children in need of heart surgery, and they came over and did a concert, and it was just fantastic. And we raised £3.6 million in one night.
Wow.
We had Jeffrey Archer doing the bidding. We had a whole bunch of stars, you know, Ainsley Harriott through to Levi Reggae Source, and all these people bidding for amazing. But they're just such a brilliant band. They've just had so many hits, and they're just the nicest people. And they were due to be performing this month in all places, Solihull, but everything's been cancelled. Otherwise, I would have got you backstage tickets, because we always have an allocation of, you know, a load of tickets. So when they're next,
I mean, that could be your plus one. Oh my God!
I took my friends, because we went with Level 42, Mark King, and because Mark King was heavily inspired by Kool and the Gang, and of course we've always got tickets. You know, they're our business partners, so we're in business. So when they're next over, and they really are. It was Sam Bailey from X Factor. Her dream was to meet Kool and the Gang, and we just sorted it out. So they're lovely guys. They're just brilliant.
Oh. So Jamie, I mean, listening to you know what Simon was saying about you know, charity, and we're celebrating, and you know there is an awful lot of people still giving over this lockdown time, hasn't there? You know, can you tell us a little bit about, you know, celebrating giving in a sense of you know, why people have this desire to still help people when we're in a bit of a miserable time at the moment?
I don't know, but it really has been fascinating, isn't it, to see how much people are willing to give in terms of sort of free training and, you know, free advice. And there's so many people that have really embraced the spirit of giving to others right now, which I'm not sure if we've just come together in a sense of crisis, or it's because we've got so much more time. Or it's like, right, you know, let's sit back and let's evaluate how far we've come. Let's sort of look around and take stock of what we've got, and let's share it out a little bit more, you know. But it really has been an amazing time over the last sort of 3 months, and I hope that continues, that spirit and wanting to give to each other and help each other out.
And I know that, you know, we talk about sharing. We were talking about on our call this morning. We've been doing a series over the last 6 weeks. We've actually been asked to carry it on, Em. So we might have to do another 6 weeks. I don't know. Anyway, talking about sharing, we have when that come into our business all the time is a load of littlies and some grown-ups as well that like to dance. And the reason why we've got Julia, the lovely Julia from SDA this afternoon, is that not only have you got a repertoire of, you know, dancing where you've danced internationally, Julie, but tell us some of the mixing that you've made from some of the stars that, you know, Silas has recorded and worked with.
Oh God! So when you told me that Simon was coming on today, and you were like, "We've got Simon on, and he's a producer," and I was like, oh, "Okay." Like what? Like you sent me a list of who you've worked with and your artists, and I said to Sal, I was like, "Sal, every single one of these artists I love and I use." Like, we did a voice track yesterday. We did Well, we're mainly Street Dance Academy is mainly obviously street urban. It's we use a lot of Missy Elliott, Boys to Men, all of these people that you've worked with, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm dead starstruck. I'm like, oh my God.
He's going to try.
Yeah. So I think, Simon, the knock-on effect of your work, you never probably get to see where it goes.
No.
Every day to about 300 to 400 of my kids in Cheshire at least.
Oh.
And then we get a demonstration in it, don't we? That honestly you would not believe. So thank you. I mean, this is all about, you know, how we set each other up to win, how we step into each other's shoes and encourage good behaviour, and you know how we need to teach our young people today that good things come out of good things, don't they? And I know that we both have a mutual friend of Karina at Everton in the community. Even though I'm a red, Karina, it's to have this
Karina's
sort of...
magnificent. Karina's she's just on another planet. I had dinner with her before lockdown in Chinatown, ironically, in London. I've never known a woman who's so unselfish and just above and beyond the call of duty. Do you know what I mean? She's just fantastic. Wow.
Honestly, it's really bizarre. So we talk about, you know, Karina is just the best. I think girls probably won't even know her, but she just does a massive amount of work for a lot of people in Liverpool. And I think most football places have a community page, don't they, and a community support group. And but I think basically why we've all come together with the guests that we've had on over the last few weeks is all about stories, just good news stories of what has happened. Julie, tell us about some of your pupils that have gone on to be in the West End.
I think the main thing that I tried to promote to them is that they can go wherever they want to go. I think because sometimes they think they're from a little town in, Cheshire, that they can't attack this big bad world. So I kind of just give them that push to do it. And currently we've got about 25 working professionals in the industry. So whether it be in West End, whether it be backing dancers, music dancers, some of them in Australia, some of them, one of my students who was an ex-student now, his name's Alexander McCarrick. He's been doing a lot of DJ work, and he's been going across to countries, Zimbabwe and countries far away to spread dance and music to people that it can't become easily accessible to. I think it's much like music. Dance and music is a universal language. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing, or what language you speak, or what. As soon as you hear that music or you see it, it brings everyone together.
Yeah. One of my best friends is Mark Summers, the casting director. He's the king.
Yeah.
I love him. I've known him for 25 years, and when all this is over, I'm sure he'd love to come up and visit you guys. He does a lot with Lipper in Liverpool with Paul McCartney, which I'm affiliated with, and we were both trustees of a charity called Rare in Liverpool, which was...
Yeah, two of my dancers have just got in there, so they're about to take that plunge.
I was there in a freezing cold office 10 years ago when that was started. It was just incredible, and it's really flourished. But of course, with all the madness again, it's education, dance, it's all gone a bit strange. But I'm sure Mark could be great. I mean, I'm also affiliated with the Royal Academy of Dance in London. So if you're ever down, I can hook you up with people down here, and some of the students can have a tour, because I do think the Northwest does get forgotten about. There's no doubt.
That's why I try and say to them, I've been really blessed because, I'm from Glasgow originally, and then I went to London, then I went to LA, and then I went to Vegas, and then New York, so I've been everywhere. But these dancers think that just because they're from Cheshire, that they, they're a little bit timid, so I'm just like, go.
Yeah.
Go, get out, travel. It doesn't matter if you don't make it. Doing it is making it. I think they think they need a million, artists under their names, or they need, to be in this big show. And I'm like, no, just go and do what you love. Just go and dance. So, yeah,
and I think if I can just share with you, one of the lovely things about Simon is the fact that you're a man of, you know, you put your name there, don't you, and you honour what you say, and that's so lovely. I remember being in Birmingham at a conference a few years ago, and you had a VIP ticket, didn't you, to get me into somewhere? I can't remember what it was, and I was going down to London the next day on the train, and we just couldn't think of time that I could get snuck in backstage.
Yeah. I think it was JLS. Yeah.
Do you know what, Simon, what happened? I mean, my father, my late father, God bless him, always said, you know what, go straight to the top. Don't mess about with anyone along the way. Go straight to the top if you want to get something done. And that wasn't the situation that night. But, you know, tell us a little bit, Simon, in your experience, where you found yourself and you've thought, hang on a minute, how have I ended up here?
I think it's the Paul McCartney thing. 10 years ago, I got introduced to Paul McCartney at a charity of, we were all in this room, it's like the Masons, and Billy Ocean was there, who's a legend, and Midge Ure was there from Ultravox, who's a legend, and people are getting nervous. People are sort of saying, oh, it's Paul McCartney, you know, I'll kill my children for you, and things like that. People go, being in a room with Paul McCartney, wherever he moves, it's like being on a boat, the room sways, gravitate, everyone wants to be around him. And what do you say to the man that, you know, people were saying crazy stuff?
Like what?
Woody Harrelson, the Hollywood actor, was saying crazy stuff. And I always remember what my mum said to me once. I was in London and I'd signed my record though at 19, and I called my mum when there was a call box and you put 2p pieces in the call. And I said, Mum, I'm having dinner with Annie Lennox. And she said, Simon, this is really great. She said, Simon, their shit stinks the same as yours.
Absolutely.
So with McCartney, I thought, what do I do? What? He's actually getting tired of people going on one knee and going
really?
on. So I got introduced to him and I said, I recognise you. And the whole room goes, oh my God. And I went, you're my favourite member of the Rolling Stones. And the whole room went quiet. He thought it was hilarious, and hence there's that magical picture of Paul and I. We got his arm around him. It was his birthday yesterday, so I put it on Facebook. But and he calls me trouble. And every year we meet and we have a glass of champagne. The last thing he's just a normal guy, and he's so lovely. So that's the surreal moment. You know, the most famous man in the music business, and you're rolling with him, but you've got to be normal, I think, around him.
Jamie, why do we get starstruck? What happens to our psychology when we get so? I mean, I know from my point of view, I just am so grateful for the way that people can entertain us with art. That's all it is, and I just want to be. You tend to sort of want to be around these people. So I understand what you're saying, Simon, about, you know, getting on one knee. I'm like that with you, Simon. We'll talk about Lime Street Station shortly. But go on, Jamie.
I think it's just that they're the epitome of the dreams, you know, that we have. Like growing up, you choose people that you want to emulate, because certainly when you're small, you don't really, you know, you're still working out your identity. So these are your examples of success, and these are the examples of the things that are beautiful and the things that are good in the world, because they're always so shiny. Do you know what I mean? You always see their shiniest selves put forward, and they are just people, like you said. They, you know, they're not any different than us in terms of sort of how they eat and sleep, and they get stressed, and, you know, they probably hate being bombarded all the time. But I think it's just because they're just in our faces all the time from really young, and, you know.
And that's right. And being in Cheshire, we are surrounded. I mean, obviously, Cheshire seems to be the Cheshire set, doesn't it? You know,
my friend Dawn Ward.
Yes, of course. She's only up the road, so we'll talk about Dawn in a sec. Emma, do you remember the afternoon we went stalking John Bishop?
I do remember.
Who drinks in our local pub, and he's, as the crow flies, about a mile from us, you know. So, and because the girls didn't know where he lived, we had an away day for an afternoon that went wrong because the weather was bad. So we had to do some training in a totally different ad hoc way. So we went on a little country in the car, and we got my car stuck in a lay-by in a ditch outside John Bishop's house, and we're all like, oh my God, what happens if he comes out and catches us? In fact, it's been videoed, hasn't it? It's on our videos at our salon site, I think. We were trying to turn the car around. Emma, do you remember that afternoon?
Yeah, I can't remember if I was more scared about him coming out and telling us off or you're driving, because that lane was so narrow. How you did a 3-point turn, well, it wasn't a 3-point turn, but
a 50 million
how you did that, no, you did well. I'll give you that.
So we get starstruck, we know that, and you know, obviously my daughter has been part of Julie's Academy for many years, and it's given us a confidence in terms of, because she's danced, I danced and sang, and you know, you get this confidence of being able to, like you say, Simon, just approach people and you know, and not be afraid. And talking about approaching people, I remember Boxing Day, Simon, you were at Lime Street Station. Yes. Catching the train back to London, and I saw him and I thought, there's my mate. So do you remember I came up and planted a great big kiss on your lips?
That was random, you know, buy a lottery ticket.
I didn't even know who you were with. I just thought, oh, he won't mind me kissing him. That now though.
That person I was with was a guy called Tony Byrne, who's just a radio plugger. He's one of the most successful. He makes all the hits at radio. He takes the hits into radio. He's a bit of a legend, actually. Lovely guy and a real scouser, not like me.
He was born and bred scouser?
Yeah.
I never knew that. Whereabouts from Liverpool?
Yeah, he was, crikey, Kensington in Liverpool. There's a place called West Kensington.
I don't know.
Sounds very
It is very posh. Kensington in London is very
Kensington, yeah, blimey.
Anyway, you've just reminded me as well of saying about, talking about 2 pence and using that for a phone box. We talked about that this morning. I was reminded a few weeks ago that I used to charge 2 pence to show my knickers, doing a handstand.
Blimey.
Seriously, where did that come from?
Sally.
Money at the age of 7.
Oh, an entrepreneur from birth.
We're all sort of shocked by it now, aren't we? But I don't believe I was the only person that did that. What games did you play at school, Simon, when you were at school in Liverpool?
I was a little pest at school, to be honest with you. What games? I don't know. I mean, I used to sort of knock on people's doors and run away.
Hey, me?
Yeah, it was called Knockout Ginger. It was a Bristol thing where you'd knock on somebody's door and then you'd run away, and you'd watch the angry, you know, people at the door. Yeah, and
can we share something? Jamie, would you like to share our knock and run episode, or?
Oh, I'm not sure about the statute of limitations for some of the things that I might have got up to when I'm a child, so I might sit this one out.
This was only at Christmas Eve a couple of years ago, I remember, on the way home from midnight mass.
Oh dear, that was, yes.
Oh dear.
There was that one time we got into the communion wine, didn't we, a little bit early?
Yeah. So it's lovely, all you that are joining us this afternoon. You know, it's really good to look back and celebrate some of the things that you've done as a child, and never forget to have the child in you. You know, we're all children at the end of the day. We just get older, and you know, when was the last time you played hide and seek? Or, I mean, Emma, we play hide and seek all the time, don't we, at work?
Oh, we do.
Sometimes as well, we've got some of our clients local.
We just leave our, don't we, Sal? Just like,
yeah.
Let's go to the pub, Sal. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a 3-year-old, so I play it regularly.
Do you? Do you? Okay, so we just need to discuss, as hairdressers and therapists and makeup artists, Simon, we have been talking about all things ginger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Tell us about your ginger life.
Bloody hell. You know, at school you would get teased for having red hair, ginger hair. It was, and they call me the ginger one, and I've been sort of, it's really, really funny. Being in school in the 70s, it wasn't great being ginger, but it's sort of 17 years old, I turned that to my advantage. And God, I used to, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of me when I used to do all the photographs for Benetton.
No, I haven't.
Oh,
We've known each other all this time, and I never knew
If
that.
you Google Simon Britton Benetton, you'll be shocked.
Oh, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, I had the same manager as Boy George, you see. So they
He's
put
on
me
it.
in makeup. I wasn't necessarily the greatest singer, but I looked very pretty when I had my record deal. So I used to have the long hair and makeup. I only had my hair cut off on an American TV show with Graham Norton because they
What was that like?
I had it cut off in Harvey Nichols by a top hairdresser, and I got drunk on live TV.
Did you?
Yeah, the show went to an Emmy.
That is so scary.
If you Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, so I was the straight guy. They did a makeover show. They flew over to England for the first time, and
Wow.
it was the money was right. So yeah, I thought, I used to have really long hair. I wish I could send it in the group chat. No, I don't think you can do that, can you?
You can, I think so, but we found it, Julie.
No, I'm not too sure what's coming up.
Getting drunk on live telly is so scary to me because I totally lose my filter, so I don't know if I could be trusted.
I did it in front of everybody. I came out of retirement to do a concert, and everybody was there. I went on stage with a bottle of wine. It was just an absolute nightmare, to be honest with you. God, dear.
How often are you a nightmare?
I have my moments. I've been good recently in the lockdown, but I mean, at parties, it's just I've been carried out of my own, award ceremonies. Yeah. Because I'm a Bristol working class kid. You know what it is that if it's free, you just take it.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh, open bar. Goodness me. You can't waste an open bar, can you?
No.
I know.
So, just before we finish, because I mean, I could talk for another half an hour easily. Just before we finish, Simon, just give us, we've got a lot of Evertonian people watching that come into our barbers, and we've got a lot of fans of obviously the work that you've done. What would you share with us? What are the secrets of your success?
Oh, people! I think what I would say it's I'm trying to find some dodgy pictures of the '80s on my phone. Oh, here we go. Some of my I don't know if that's me. Does that come out at all?
Not really.
Oh, that does. Oh my gosh!
Wow.
That's Benetton.
Oh wow!
You look better in red lippy than I do.
Yeah, and then I went through the goth stage like the Prodigy. I've been through the mill. There's the old Leo Sayer picture there. That me. No, and it's hard graft. A lot of people say to me, I think Sally, you came. I showed you the Amy Winehouse studio, if you remember.
You did, and honestly,
it was all left. All her guitar, her rug, and of course I am privileged, but it is hard work. People always see you at the award ceremonies, see you with whoever you're with, Chris Brown, for example, or Lady Gaga, but people don't see. It's like I was up all last night working, on overnight. So it is. You've got to work so hard to stay top of this game. Otherwise, it's like a football player. If you're not scoring goals, you get substituted and you don't play anymore. So we work really hard.
But not forgetting as well, we do all have the 6 human needs, don't we, as well? And we're all human. So we all have a heart, and we all, we have a heart to beat, and it's crazy, some of the things that, and when was the last time everybody, I mean, not on the call, but everybody watching, how would you celebrate your last success? What was it? It may have just been getting out of bed this morning. It's been an awful time for people, and we appreciate that. And hence the fact that, you can reach Jamie through us if you want to. If you've got a child that wants to dance, that may need to have some, express some energy to get to the SDA at Sandbach. And of course, Emma and I, and all of the gang at Caesar, we're always looking forward to seeing you join us there. So we are going to be carrying on our shows now. So we are looking for a few little local celebrities that might want to join us behind the scenes. You can come on our little, this is, Simon, please don't tell Wardy, will you? But this is the really real Housewives of Cheshire.
Lime. I've had a few crazy nights with Dawn. Crazy nights. Blimey, yeah, she likes a glass of wine, does our Dawn.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's a whole nother story, isn't it? And then of course we've got the loose women that we've really taken a bit of a mickey take doing these shows, really. We thought, you know what, if loads of women can do it, so can we. So it's just been a brilliant thing that we're celebrating. So on that note, I'd just like to raise a glass to you all for joining us this afternoon.
I can't believe I've got a cup of tea.
I get my cup of tea.
On Friday.
No,
What's everybody else on?
Everyone else has got a glass of something. No, I'm going to go and get myself a glass of wine after this.
Yeah, I think so. And just before we go, favourite Madness experience, because I know that you know Suggs very well, and you know we've got some Madness fans watching as well. What would you tell us a little secret behind the scenes of what's gone on there?
We were working on a record together, a big charity record with 32 stars, and I was the producer, but Suggs was the executive producer. Bless him, every day we'd have the fridge stocked out with Heineken. And I like a drink more than anyone, but Suggs would be on the beers at 10:30 in the morning, and by the time, say, for example, Engelbert Humperdinck came in for the evening report, or the Proclaimers, all the beers would be gone. Suggs is an absolute legend at drinking Heineken, and he's just like, everything about him is just like in the video, the way he moves like this, he's just again a nice guy.
Yeah. What about Engelbert Humperdinck? Because he was, I don't know if you've seen some of our videos of our Nanny Ethel Alice and Nanny Shirley from She's Scouse. I don't know whether I tagged you in it this morning. I'll send them to you. But Engelbert Humperdinck, how old would he be? He's got to be, 84, I think. It was an honour for me because my granddad's all-time favourite singer was Engelbert Humperdinck, but my granddad never got the chance to see me work with Engelbert, but he was an absolute gentleman. He flew over from America. He had tea with the Queen, and then he came to the studio, and he was just a gentleman, you know. That was a magic moment for me. There's some great pictures, which I really treasure. So apart from meeting me, and who else is your favourite celebrity? There are some people I don't want to meet. So for example, I don't want to meet Phil Oakey from the Human League because I'd melt, you see. Would you? I would melt, yeah. All the guys from Depeche Mode. So I see that. So and I shouldn't say this. I wasn't a big Beatles fan, so I wasn't really starstruck when I met McCartney. He was, but there are some people that you just go, I just don't want to meet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I can just briefly. I remember Christopher Biggins playing the lead in the narrator or whatever the part is in Rocky Horror Show, and they were staying at Crewe Hall, which is the Jacobean haunted, beautiful hall. I don't know if you've ever been there in Crewe when you've changed at the railway station or ever. And so my lovely friend Louise is a radio breakfast show host, and we were there. I think we're just having drinks, you get to see quite a lot of people there as well, which is again so starstruck. And so I walked up to them. They were sat at the table having lunch. Christopher Biggins sat there, and I just walked up to him and I went, "Christopher, how lovely to see you. Never met him before in my life," and he's just like, "Darling." You know, that sort of gushing as though I'm his best friend. So I let him believe he was. You've got to be people normal, I really believe. Ask me about the two of the most horriblest people I've worked with. Rod Stewart. Nightmare. Really?
Small man. Another one, yeah.
Go on, Em. What questions have we got?
So, Julie, you've had a shout out from Chris Wusty.
Hey.
Oh!
And he is amazing. He is another person who will do anything for anyone. He's wicked. He's one of my teachers. He runs the company alongside me. He's just lovely. Absolutely amazing dancer.
And just to say thank you for all your hard work, Julie, because in the salon we have quite a few little dancers. And because we've got such a great floor in our salon, they demonstrate all the time. And we've got a family, haven't we, Sal?
Yes.
Dad and 3 children.
Wilson. John Wilson, Esme, Toby, yeah.
Yes. I don't know whether I should say names, but yeah, they are fantastic. And obviously we've got more as well, but yeah, they're great. So thank you, because it really makes my day when they come in showing their little moods. It's lovely. I love it.
And
so
of course, to all the music that Simon's produced, which is like a whole circle of art, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's lovely. So are we any more, Em? Can we go
well
on?
So Michaela, who we were talking about earlier, Simon, who is Peter Andre's like biggest fan, she obviously she can watch all this back, so she'll see what you've said, but she would really love to dance with Peter Andre on stage. So we're putting it to you, Simon, that you can organise that for her. Hey.
When touring starts again, Peter's up for everything. You know, Peter's brother died of cancer. It was very soon, and it was very tragic. And then Peter heavily got involved with cancer charities. But Peter was just an absolute legend. He came to present. A friend of mine was, she was suffering from a terrible illness and this and that, and then Peter turned up, you know, to present an award for her, and he all just like, you know, I can't put him up there enough. He's just fantastic. I must send you the video, Sally, of the TV show. I've got the best bits of the TV show that we did. It's quite funny, actually. I'll send it to you in an email so you can send to the girls.
Okay, well, obviously that was really lovely, and thank you everyone for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. And because it's been a request that we're going to carry on these live chat shows, the really Real Housewives of Cheshire, hopefully you might want to join us again.
Yeah, next time I'll come down with a bottle of wine.
I'm holding you to that though, because yeah, I think we should. Yeah, well, Emma and I have been challenged to come dine with me at my house. Why not? Why not be our guest for that? Next time Everton are at home, Simon.
Yes.
Promise.
Yes.
Good. We'll have a party at my house when we're off lockdown. On that note, let's go on.
Sorry, Sally, but Simon, if you've got any sense, don't come, because Sally and I can't cook.
Oh,
I was just thinking, I'm glad I didn't.
I'm the worst cook in the world. It's become a joke. I don't know if you've seen Sally, my creative.
I have.
Disaster. I'm used to going to restaurants, so I'm eating just crap.
That's another thing we've got in common. Perhaps you should marry me.
Yes. No, I can't wait to get up to the northwest. I feel like my wings. I mean, you know, I say I'm always on a flight somewhere.
No.
Just flying alone, but just to, you know, the restrictions. I miss the northwest. I just love. I
love being at home.
London, it's a necessary evil for me, because obviously I live it because of the music industry in the studios. But there's nothing nicer when I'm leaving Euston, going up north, and there's nothing sadder when I'm leaving Lime Street to come back south. Yeah, because the people up there just amazing.
Well, I think that morning we saw each other. You just got into the station. You just got in, and that was probably about 9 o'clock in the morning. You were heading home.
Yes.
So anyway, right. Well, have a super weekend, everyone. Again, we've been talking for ages. Could carry on a lot more. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon.